today's episode, I'm going to quickly be covering Save Our Ship 2's combat update, the update from 2.0 to 2.3. I'm going to briefly talk about the researches, all the new research stuff that we now have in the research menu, and generally what it does, how to actually command your ship and move it around on the world map and engage in enemy ships in combat, how ship-to-ship combat works, and how you can protect your ship and engage the enemy ship, and the salvage system once you actually defeat enemy ship, the ways you can salvage it for resources. This is going to be a brief overview of me covering a few points, not so much a mod breakdown, just some interesting things about the mod so far I'm really enjoying. Alright, let's get started. Though they've changed the way the ship fusion reactor works, it no longer provides just a base 5,000 watts and consumes uranium fuel cells. It now has an overdrive mode. It'll increase reactor output at the cost of increased heat production and fuel consumption. Overdrive mode 1 and then overdrive mode 2 provides instability as well. I imagine when you build up enough instability, it will overheat, break down, and potentially explode. Overdrive 1 provides 10,000 watts of power, Overdrive 2 provides 15,000 watts of power, and Overdrive 3 provides 20,000 watts of power. We also have a new thermal connection system. So we now have this yellow piping on the exterior of the ship is your thermal pipe connection. You can build thermal ducts and connect them to heat exchangers. Heat exchangers are another new building you can research in the research menu, which will vent heat collected from shields taking damage or ship fusion reactors in overdrive mode. And you can connect them via the pipe network. We also have a whole array of weapons. We have laser turrets, plasma turrets, railgun turrets, cruiser augments, and capital ship augments. There are a medium and large variants of all the turrets. Laser turrets can act as point defense turrets to engage enemy torpedoes that are coming at your vessel. Plasma turrets are quite good at punching through hulls and breaking down interior ship components. And railgun turrets are very good at engaging enemy ships from long range. There are also spinal weapons, which are your main capital ship weapons, which are multi-components, and you'll have to put them together from several pieces. Like so. And you can build the spinal weapon out of any type of class of weapon you want. You can make it a laser-based weapon, you can make it a railgun-based weapon, or, as you saw, a plasma cannon-based weapon. We also have torpedo tubes here as well, and you can load EMP, anti-grain, and high-explosive torpedoes to engage enemy ships with a torpedo launcher. We also now have ship armor as well as a new addition, so you can put these corners on the exterior of your ship hull to reinforce it. They have 1500 health, give or take, depending on the part. We also now have ship hull components. Their health can vary depending on the size, but they're a very good alternative compared to the shield if your shield would ever go down. You can also now build unpowered ship hull, so it's basically just a ship hull that does not have the thermal conduct or the power cable inside, still acting as a 1000 wall hull block to your ship, providing another armor block as an alternative. Lastly, we also have the salvage base. I'm going to be talking about this later on in the video. Know that you can build them inside your ship and that you can collect 1,000 kilograms of material from an enemy ship after battle. Shield generators are also a new addition to the mod. A shield device which projects a monumental repulsive field. Shots can go out but not in. Generates heat when it blocks attacks. If no heatsink capacitor is available, the shield will be damaged and require repairs. Ship radiators can't disperse the heat while shields are up. Captains are advised to drop shields once heatsinks are close to capacity, or risk your ship turning into ovens. So essentially, as this shield takes damage, it'll transfer heat into the heat sinks. And as the heat builds up to maximum capacity, these will either break down, explode, or cause fires, and then your shield will collapse, or you can shut down the shield prematurely, allowing these to vent, and then turn it on after a brief cooling period. We also now have small rocket engines and small ship capacitors as an option as well if you are interested in building these. This holds 10,000 watts of power, and a small rocket engine holds 500 fuel. Alright, let's talk about commanding your ship. So you'll have to select your ship bridge, and you'll have 4 new options here. You have weapons, toggle shields, move ship, and land ship on planet. You can also go to new planet, but that's base 2.0 with the tachyon drive. We're just going to focus on the new stuff. So if you select all ship to ship weapons, it's going to select your primary weapons on the ship while you're in combat, which will be all weapons that are currently built onto your ship. If you click Move Ship, it will bring up a icon like this, where you can paste in a new blueprint of your ship, and your entire ship will be moved from one point to another point on the map. It's the same feature like this. If you try to land on a planet, you'll get the same blueprint model, and you'll have to find a free landing zone for your ship to land at. The last one is toggle shields on and off. That's pretty self-explanatory. Alright, let's go check out ship-to-ship combat. So normally you need to discover an event that randomly happens that spawns a enemy ship in your area that you can choose to engage if you want, and you'll have an option here on this menu to attack enemy ship. I'm going to go into dev mode and spawn in an event for us right now because I don't have an event in my current save file. So I have an option here to dev start ship battle. You will have an option here of 2 swords saying engage X ship. It could be a fighter, heavy fighter, carrier, any ship. It kind of gives you a brief name, and you kind of have to make an assumption off that name what type of ship it is and if you're capable of taking it on. If it's a capital ship, maybe you shouldn't take it on with a small shuttle, but if it's a shuttle or a mining vessel, maybe you still have a good chance of a low level ship. Let's click Start Ship Battle. The ship battle has started, and now we have a heat readout, an energy readout, and a distance meter. So on the right we can see this is our ship where my cursor is currently over, and on the far left is the enemy ship. We can read this through. Shows the enemy's ship's distance from your ship and all projectiles currently in flight. Red range. This is this triangle right here. This is red range. All weapons can fire. Railguns are highly inaccurate. Green range. Plasma cannons right here. Plasma cannons, railguns, and torpedoes can fire. Railguns are moderately accurate. And blue range. Only railguns and torpedoes can fire. Railguns are highly accurate. The general consensus is the further away the railguns are, the more accurate they are, and as you get to medium and close range, lasers and plasma cannons become more viable. You can only seem to fire lasers at close range at red, and you can fire plasma cannons at medium range as well. A hostile ship is approaching. Scans identify it as a large assault probe. Ugh. So you don't actually get a jump icon when you get the events. You'll see a new colony in the top right of where your new colony would be. You know, we have 3 colonies in this world map right now. We have our ground base where Jacob is. We have everyone inside the space station, and we have this new icon here on the right, which is a new colony. If I click on it, it's going to take us to the enemy ship. So we can see a little bit of what they have. We can't see on the inside, just like FTL, which is an awesome feature. We can see they have ship radiators here. We can't see what's inside. We can assume the ship core is somewhere here, and we can see their exterior weapons. They have 1 laser and 1 railgun, and that appears to be it. At our ship bridge, we can either order an advance or a retreat, or we can try to escape combat. Flee from battle, leaving behind anyone aboard the enemy ship, not at maximum range. So you need to be as far away from the enemy ship as possible to escape from combat. So if I ordered a retreat, we can see my ship icon shifting away and moving towards the blue triangle. And once it's reached the blue triangle, we should be able to escape from battle. In the bottom right hand corner, you can see we've reached the blue triangle. We are as far as we can get from the enemy ship, and we can now escape. Flee from battle, leaving behind anyone aboard the enemy ship. And we have 2 options here in our menu. We can advance and we can retreat. If we order a retreat and I play time, we can see our ship in this interface move back towards the blue triangle. If we pause and we order an advance, we can see our ship advance, closing the distance. The enemy will also try to maneuver to their optimal movement. The enemy will also try to advance to the position where they want to engage you. If they have primarily railguns, they want to keep you at a long range. If they primarily have close range weapons, they're going to want to close the distance. Whoever has more thrusting capability will be able to close the distance or keep distance with their enemy. Be mindful not to let your colonists out during this time of maneuvering. The thrusters do produce heat, and if your colonists walk into them, they will be incinerated and die. So make a note of that. It's not a good thing. So if we click select all ship-to-ship weapons, it's going to select all ship-to-ship weapons on our ship. And we can see it's selected the 2 plasma cannons, the 1 laser gun, and the 1 railgun we have. And if we click set focused target, it's going to move us over to the enemy ship. And we can set the force target here. So let's say we want to target that. It's best to picture this like an artillery base. you're firing from your world map. We can see this map only holds my ship onto the enemy's world map, which only holds their ship. I guess the enemy got a trade caravan at one point. That's pretty interesting. The bugs aren't entirely fleshed out, so it's still a work in progress. They only just released this, so if you run into any small bugs, please forgive them. This mod's amazing. Keep up the good work, you guys. You're making a beautiful game. Ship weapons do have a very long reload time. There is boarding capability. You can actually go to the enemy ship and board it potentially as well. And the ship weapons aren't much of a threat against an infantry advance because the reload times are extremely long. We can see the round left my colony world map and spawned on his colony world map. And he is taking a round on his ship hull. And we're working our way into the interior of his ship. We can see the laser does consistent low damage, kind of digging its way into the ship. Here we can see our heat storage. We can see they're slowly venting the heat. We can see this heat sink has 46 heat stored, this one 52, so on and so on and so on. I have the rooms vented at this time. I have coolers in these because these will give off heat, and you want to keep them in a cool room so they can expel as much heat as they can as fast as they can so you can keep this heat bar low. As your shield takes damage, it will be heating up your ship. And if your heat reach maximum, your heat capacitors are overfilled, your shield will fail, and your heat capacitors might catch fire or break as well. So it's important to shut down the shield before you overheat. We're now right beside the enemy ship, so now our railguns are going to be extremely inaccurate, but we'll be able to engage with the lasers and plasma cannons. To actually win your battle, you must destroy the enemy ship's AI core, which is usually in the center of the enemy ship, but this is a small ship. You'll be fighting much larger ships potentially in your playthrough. This is just an example fight. So be prepared to fight large vessels in the future. You can also commit to a boarding action. If you wanted to load up heavy cargo shuttle, I'll do this as an example. So I'll take this heavy cargo shuttle, I'll throw in a few of my combat androids inside it, and I will send them to the enemy ship. If we click launch group, it's going to force us to drop it directly on an enemy ship. Once you've started ship-to-ship combat, you can only ferry transport ships to the enemy ship. It forces you onto this world map. So if you, instead of, say if you wanted to evacuate colonists, that's not so much of an option at this time in this current build. When you're in combat, it's only ships back and forth between you and the enemy ship. So let's land our assault craft right beside the enemy AI core and see what we can do. We also note that my energy is dropping dramatically low. So this is a situation where you'd want to use the overdrive function on your fusion reactors to get out that extra power to keep your weapons firing and to keep your shields up. We can see the enemy laser weapon is firing, and if we watch here, we can see my heat rise and rise and rise as it impacts with my shield. We can see that its laser weapons impacting with my shield right here. Oh, look at that texture. That texture is beautiful. Oh, it's just gorgeous. So our assault crew has landed, and there's no anti-infantry defenses here. So we can easily ignore this laser cannon, which is a ship weapon, and see if we can't break into the enemy ship and take out the AI core this way. We've opened up the ship's main cavity, and for some reason there's anti-grain warheads in here. I don't know why, but either way, this is the ship computer core. If we take this out, we win the battle. I'm a little concerned for my infantry because of the anti-grain warheads, but we're going to go in anyway and see if we can't take out the ship core. Ship battle has won. With the destruction of the control system, the enemy ship has been reduced to a derelict. You may manually retrieve the cargo and prisoners via the boarding party if you wish. Otherwise, use your bridge to issue an order to salvage the enemy ship. Your salvage bays will retrieve some fraction of the construction materials and cargo along with the corpses of its crew. We can see the enemy ship in the world map. Here's our ship, the orbiting ship, the blue one right here. And here's the enemy ship all the way over here. We can now zoom in and out between the two on the world map if we so choose. So if we go to our bridge terminal, we're greeted with two new options. We can now abandon enemy ship, or we can salvage enemy ship. Deconstruct the enemy ship and reclaim a portion of its resources. Do not do this if any of your crew are still on board. You're supposed to take all of your crew off the ship, but for some reason I've found that if you click this button, you can grab your crew. They seem to take some kind of damage, probably some kind of bug. I mean, it does suggest that you take your crew off before you do this, but you can actually just bring them home this way as well. I'll bring them home as an example. And it's just like loading a caravan, except for every salvage bay you have another 1,000 kilograms. I have 3 salvage bays, so I have 3,000 kilograms to play with. And I can just go through everything that they have in their storage and what's on their world map, just as if I was packing up, and load it up. Note that there was a trade caravan that died there for some reason. That's why we have rhino corpses here. I don't know why. It's a bug. It just released. Don't judge it too much. I'm sure they're going to patch it in the future. But you can see we can grab all the plasteel, all the steel, all the uranium, all the components, and anything else that was on the ship, like the ship capacitors, the anti-grain warheads that are still there that we did not blow up, and so on and so on. And if we click accept, we will see at our salvage base, the cargo that we've just collected will land at the salvage base and arrive, even if I wounded troops that somehow took damage. Once again, it advises you not to bring back your crew members with the salvage bay. This is probably why they seem to get pretty beat up for some reason. That's fine though, it makes sense. I imagine it's a pretty rough ride in the salvage bay shuttle. Just an angry claw arm grabbing you, throwing you into a shuttle, sending you in and out. Probably not a good way to come home. Either way, that concludes the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of content, me doing mod reviews, mod breakdown. You need to play this mod right now. If you are unsatisfied with the ending of Rimworld, where it just gives you you've won screen when you build a ship, play this mod and build a ship yourself, because this is amazing. You have to play this. This is... Fire popper went off in the heatsink room. We can see that our heat sinks that are not vented, it's 374 Celsius in here. And the heat sinks that are vented are currently 6 Celsius. So these rooms can get extremely hot. The fire popper I had in there just combusted. So keep that in mind. You'll have to vent these pretty well. Either way, I strongly suggest you guys download this mod. This mod's incredible. I can't play Rimworld anymore without this mod. It's really changed my whole outlook on the game. It's honestly like putting another game on a game. It feels like a more in-depth, detailed version of FTL, and I love it every little bit. If you want to support the mod maker, he has a Patreon. I'm not going to link it, but I'll link his official trailer, and from the official trailer, I'm sure you can find his Patreon if you want to support him. If you want to support me and see me make more videos like this, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, click the bell. You know all the things you have to do if you want to support my channel. I hope you guys have yourselves a nice day, and stay safe out there. Thanks for watching the video, I appreciate it.